what is spirituality? There's so many people using this word today, and I never really know what they mean. But in India, they lived the sages who wrote the Upanishads and who came up with the whole system of philosophies and yoga, which are the roots of all spirituality that we see today in the West. And they said that man consists of three parts: the body, the mind, and the thing that they call the Atman. They said the Atman is the true self. We could translate it as like soul, or I like the word awareness. And they said that a spiritual life is a life that is aimed towards realizing the true self, or the Atman. And seeing that you lost your Atman, your true self, your awareness in identification with the body and mind. And the practices that have come out through this philosophy to realize this truth is what we call yoga. Now, in Vedanta philosophy, the philosophy of Ramakrishna, it is said that Atman is Brahman. Brahman is the formless. In Hinduism they could call it Shiva, in Christianity they could call it the Heavenly Father, in Islam Allah, in Buddhism they call it Nirvana. These are just different words, concepts for the thing that we can't put into a concept, God. But the interesting thing that according to Vedanta, they say Tattvam Asi, thou art that, which means that Atman is Brahman, meaning once you realize the inner self, this kind of formless essence of your true nature, you also realize the formless behind all. So self-realization equals God realization. There's few beings on this earth who have personally realized this truth, and one of the greatest among them was a man called Ramakrishna. He was born in 1836 in the village of Kamarpukur, about 60 miles from Kolkata. He was the guru of Swami Vivekananda, the first yogi who came to the West and spread the universal message of Vedanta over the world. God realization is verily the ultimate purpose of human life, Ramakrishna said, and his whole life is a testament to this ideal. He engaged in a huge variety of practices, from Tantra to Advaita, and broke the frontiers of Hinduism, glided through the paths of Islam and Christianity, and attained the highest realization through each of them in a short span of time. Ramakrishna had this metaphor. He said that as long as a child is happy playing with its toys, the mother can cook or do whatever she wants to do. But as soon as the child gets bored and throws away his toys, the mother will put down whatever she's doing and come running. Similarly, once we get a sense of this Atman, this new way of being, just like the child, we get very bored with the game of life. We don't want to be involved in the drama so much anymore because it's just not interesting. And what is happening within us becomes much more interesting than what's happening on the outside. And we start to reorganize our lives so every moment is about coming into this new way of being, coming into spirit. And so you start meditation and yoga, you start to put up holy pictures, you start to listen to podcasts, you start to read holy books, and you start to fill your life with new ideas, new forms that remind you of your true nature. And it's very functional. Ramakrishna had this metaphor that he said that as long as a tree is young, you need to put a fence around it to protect it from the cows. But when the tree gets big and the trunk is strong, then even the elephant can come and the tree will be just fine. But at the beginning stages, it's very important to kind of protect this new way of being because you feel very fragile and vulnerable, and it's very scary because it's very new and you don't really understand what's happening to you. So it's important to kind of put up the fence of spiritual forms, crystals, pictures, incense, whatever you need to kind of keep a safe environment where you can grow. And once you feel strong in your connection, in your faith, in this new way of being in the world, then you can throw away all the forms, all the meditation, all the practice. And this is the magic of Sri Ramakrishna. He was able to go through every practice because he didn't get attached to any of them. He did Kali worship, And then once he was done, he continued and went into Islam and then Christianity, because he realized that the form is just the form and it's not the thing in itself. And the point of every form is to eventually self-destruct, which it will. When Sri Ramakrishna was 16, he moved to Kolkata and soon became the priest of the new Kali temple at the Dakshineswar, built by Rani Rashmani. Kali, who was the main deity of the temple, is the representation of the primordial power called Adya Shakti. This is the creative principle of the universe and is ever at play. Okay, let's take a moment to understand what we mean by Shakti and Kali. There was a German philosopher in the 19th century called Immanuel Kant, and he said that reality has two aspects. One is called phenomenon, which is everything you can perceive through the senses and through the mind, everything you can touch, smell and think about. And noumenon, which is, he called the thing in itself, which is beyond sensory perceptions and is not something you can think about. We have the same ideology in Vedanta. The world of forms or phenomenon is called Shakti, and that which is beyond forms is Brahman. Now, the wisdom of Ramakrishna was that he saw these two aspects of reality as not separate, but as one. In the Mahayana text, the Prajna Paramita, it is said that form is formless and formless is form. And it's the same truth here. So when we talk about Shakti, we are talking about the manifested universe, the creation. And it's important not to forget that this aspect, the dynamic creative aspect, is not different from the static, silent aspect of Brahman. Ramakrishna, living in the temple, quickly developed an intense devotion to Mother Kali and spent hours in loving adoration of her image, forgetting the rituals of priestly duties. He became gradually immersed in the web of her all-pervading presence. To the ignorant, she is, to be sure, the image of destruction, but he found in her the all-loving mother. Her neck is encircled with a garland of heads, and her waist with a girdle of human arms, and two of her hands hold weapons of death. But, strangely enough, Ramakrishna felt in her breath the soothing touch of tender love, and saw in her the seed of immortality. She appears to be reeling under the spell of wine. But who could create this mad world unless under the influence of a divine drunkenness? She is the highest symbol of all the forces of nature, the ultimate divine in the form of woman. I'm here at Dakshineswar. That's a temple where Ramakrishna did his Kali worship. And his room there, he lived for 12 years doing his sadhana, is 100 meters that way. This is where he met Vivekananda, and this is where all the devotees came together. And this is the origin of the whole Ramakrishna mission.
Kripamai namostute Lajjapatabrite nityam.
I have been wanting to come to this temple for years now. I read about it in so many books, and I was so excited as I was finally entering the inner part and getting close to the statue. And I had all these stories in my head about what's happening here and what a big thing this is. But it was so different from what I expected. And I don't know what I expected. Maybe the Divine Mother to descend from the heavens and show herself like she did to Ramakrishna, or I don't know. And it's definitely a very powerful space and you can feel it in your head and in your spine. But in reality, what happened is that the only thing I noticed were the people who were very aggressive to each other, and the very skinny dogs outside on the street as we came in. And there was so much energy going into the temple. People were so excited, they were like frantic, and they were so bowing in front of the statue. And for me, it just felt so wrong. Like even Ramakrishna said that if you're looking for God, look in men, because out of all the things, God manifests in men the most. And so I don't understand why we would put so much energy into a worship of a clay image if we are not in the same time giving just as much energy into being with each other and taking care of each other. And I feel like that has to happen first before you go into a temple. And it didn't feel right. And although I know the significance of this place and the significance of the deity and Ramakrishna, still in my heart it just didn't feel right. And maybe it's me, and maybe it's about letting go of expectations, because ever since I got back to India, I'm very scared, because it's very different from what I remember, and I changed a lot, which I didn't notice. I used to love the stories about Rama and Shiva, and I used to love the temples and the puja and the arti. But right now it doesn't click somehow, and it's very scary, because I came all the way here, come back to what I thought I know, this felt like a home, and now it doesn't. It feels very different. And as I said before, at the beginning of the journey you really embrace these stories and art and the music and the puja. But these are also just forms, and forms change. And maybe right now it feels like that the teaching from Ma is not that she came down from heaven and imparted some deep knowledge, but just showing how to let go of forms and expectations. And that's why she's Kali. Kali is the destroyer. She's the one who comes after impurities. You saw the pictures. You don't want to meet her in the middle of the night or something. But she's scary. She's terrifying. And it is really scary, because you have so much love and investment of energy into these things, and then suddenly, poof, gone, new reality. It's very scary that to find that which is beyond change, you really have to embrace the change of forms. And as long as you are standing somewhere, as long as you are a spiritual seeker, as long as you are anybody, you're not free. And it's terrifying, because you're standing nowhere. All the things that you invested so much energy into, all these things just feel so dry all of a sudden. And it's terrifying. And you just have to sit in it. But the funny thing is that I don't feel like I lost my connection. It feels like me feeling like, okay, wait, let me rephrase that. Funny enough, it feels like me losing my connection, or feeling like I lost my connection, just proves that I have the connection. It still feels very strong, but not from the things that used to give it to me. This kind of connection to the spirit, or the Atman, or your inner self, whatever you want to call it. It's still here, very strong. It's just very hard to accept that all the things that used to bring me there don't work anymore.
I have always been interested in monastic life, and have been wanting to learn more about the Ramakrishna mission for quite some time now, to see how Ramakrishna's message lives on in our times. The Ramakrishna math and mission was founded by Vivekananda, and has helped hundreds of thousands of people in their spiritual growth, while also providing humanitarian service to people all over the globe. While I was in Kolkata, I had the amazing opportunity to talk with one of the sannyasins from the order, Swami Priyananda, who explained what the essence of the work is, along with many other topics.
Ramakrishna Mutt and Ramakrishna Mission, this twin organization, their motto is that Atmano Mokshartham Jagat Hitaya Cha. It is mean that your own liberation by the good of the world. And this Cha, this word, Cha in Cha Sanskrit, it depicts and. This and depicts that both the things will go hand in hand. If you are going for your own liberation, you will be too much engrossed in yourself. You will only think about your liberation. Bhuteshanandaji Maharaj used to tell when they were in Kailash Mutt, they found that some other sadhakas, they are vomiting, they are not in good health. The next room sadhaka, he doesn't look after him. Why? Because he feels a big shape ho jayega, that he will be detached from his sadhana. So it is a kind of what I can say, a concentrate in him only. At the same time, if you only work for the good of the world, at the time, at a point of time will found you are sitting in a bundle of I had done this, I had done that, I have done that, I have done that. But if you feel that by serving this, you are finding the liberation, you are getting your liberation, and by doing sadhana, it is your sadhana to serve people. In Kashi Sevashram Sangha, the Kashi Home of Service, it was founded by Swami Kedaranandaji and Kedar Baba, Swami Achalanandaji and Swami Shubhanandaji, both the disciples of Swami Vivekananda. They started this, and their monastic is to serve all the patients. Every evening, Achalanandaji used to come and used to say, how many Narayanas have come to you? And then one brahmachari, they told 5 Narayanas come to my ward. Another brahmachari, a newcomer, he told 5 patients have come to me. Then so Achalanandaji was a little bit annoyed. Then afterwards, slowly he said that if you always think that you are serving the Lord, not the Narayana, the patients, not the patients, Narayana, then you will give your best. When you purchase fruits for Lord, you buy the best. When you are purchasing some clothes for your deity, you purchase the best. Even when you purchase for your parents, you buy the best, isn't it? In this way, when you serve your Lord, you give your best. At the same time, the person who is receiving seva from you, he feels that God is so merciful to you that he has given his only child to serve me. And in the same way, he will he will get a transformation. When Swamiji formed the rules and regulations of Ramakrishna Mission, how they will work, the first thing is there that Ramakrishna Mission will work for the people for propagate education by which they can earn something. In Bengali, one word is there, khali pete dharma hoy na. If you are hungry, you will only think about food.
Right.
You cannot.
Everything.
So first of all, you must work for feeding them.
Right.
And after that, you have to propagate the religion and the other messages of Upanishads as is were depicted in the through the life of Sri Ramakrishna. Ranganathanji used to tell, are you growing spiritually? What is the first point to find out? Can you feel for others? This is the first question. Can you feel for others? Can we feel the pain of others? We always feel pain of us only, but we won't feel for pain of others. There, Sri Ramakrishna's life, there is one incident. Once Sri Ramakrishna was sitting in his room, suddenly he told, oh Mago, Muregelabgo, oh, I have feeling so much pain. Hridayaram, his nephew, he came and found that 5 prints there, a hand's print is there. Someone has heated him. That heating is going in the middle of the Ganges. The sailors, they are fighting each other. So one slapped him and he is feeling the pain like that. Someone is walking on the grass, Sri Ramakrishna is feeling pain for that. If you feel for others, slowly the area will grow on increasing. You will find it is increasing. It is increasing in such a way that is beyond you. Swami Vivekananda's life there is there. The whole night Swamiji is walking, strolling in his veranda. So someone asked, Swamiji, why are you walking like that? You see, Swamiji told, there must be something had happened. I am feeling in my pain in my heart. After one day it was found there was an earthquake and many people passed away. But it was quite far away, quite 1,000 miles away from Belur. But this person is feeling. Once you will go on, you will feel for others, you will feel, and then automatically this Atman Moksha Jagat Hitaya Cha, it will automatically work. When you serve people during the distress, when we face 4 super cyclones there. So the day after the super cyclone, we were giving food, we were khichdi, we were giving, and that small boy is smiling. He was hungry for some hours. When he is getting that khichdi in his pot, the boy is taking that smile. It is not a thank you. He is not saying I am grateful to you, but your heart is feeling solace from that. That is what Swamiji wanted, that Ramakrishna Mission will do. Solace to all. At the same time, it must enlighten your heart. It must take you towards God. In a letter written to Balaram Bose one argued, what I have achieved by serving Sri Ramakrishna. Swamiji wrote, don't tell such a small thing. You are a beast, now you have become a man, and slowly you become a God. Spiritual journey is all from going to a beast man to a God man. Transformation in the same life. In Rabindranath Tagore's poetry, you will find it is written, Ei tomari porosor age chitta holo ranjito, ei tomari milana sudha roilo prani sanchito. তোমার মাঝে এমনি করে নবীন করে লাও হে মোরে এই জন্মে ঘটালে মোর জন্ম জন্মান্তর সুন্দর সুন্দর. Only a holy touch. When I came to you, just your holy touch, it changed me a lot. এই জন্মে ঘটালে মোর জন্ম জন্মান্তর. Within this life, you have changed my life. You have made me from a wily person to a godly person. This transformation, this is only spirituality and nothing else is there. If you can't transform yourself, if the lifestyle, if the spiritual life cannot change you, there is no need of God and nothing is there. We need Bhagavan. That Bhagavan Shabda means that a combination of all good qualities that we can think of. This Bhagavan is that all good qualities. It may be Kali, it may be Rama, it may be Sita, whatever it may be, but all the good qualities are there. And divorce, all these poems are there. Why Lord needs the devotees. He was telling, Tomar alor naiko chhaya, amar mache paye she kaya, hoy she amar ostro jaler sundaro vidhur, amar moddhe tomar prakash tai eto madhur. If you simply is moving, it will not work. Only the reflector is there. That's why you're reflecting. Man is there, and that's why your grace is reflecting. People can see that God's grace can be in this way. If Sri Ramakrishna was not there, we could not ever have thought of what is God's grace, isn't it? That is there. That's why we need God. That's why we need spirituality. And in all form, what we think, what Swamiji had taught us, that whatever work you do, think is as a worship. Whether you are working in the kitchen, whether you are working as a Goshala, whether you are working in the office, whether you are doing puja, whether you are working or serving people in the hospital, whatever you do as a form of worship. And once you do worship, you will give your best. If you are in your home, if you are with the family, if you don't love your family, you will not be able to run your family, isn't it? Renunciation is everywhere. A mother, she cooks, she works, she bears child. Don't you think that this is a kind of renunciation? By the risk of life, a mother gives a birth to a child. Your father came from your office, and mother told that your son is little weak in English. He need an English tutor. The father don't have enough money, so he does extra work. Why? Because he loves his son. It doesn't mean that after this boy will grow up, he will look after his parents. Not like that. This is the spirituality. This is the tyaga. This is renunciation. He is renunciation his leisure time and working at the same time. If you are a monastic, if you are in the path of spirituality, unless and until you love that path, you will not be able to flow in your life. And another thing is there, we will have problems in our life. The lust and goal, it will always make us, giving us trouble. But I follow Sri Ramakrishna's Upadesh. He tells that once you go towards the east, west will leave you. You will leave the west automatically. Once you go, you change your habit towards goodness, badness will go away. You cannot leave that badness. If you think on why I am bad like that, yes, the life is full with black and white. You cannot ignore black. But if you go towards whiteness, automatically all this will